For example, with the S1, I had read something in press releases before, and well, I wasn't really sure about it. I thought it's quite expensive, but then I came to Schneider's bureau and saw it there and touched it, and I thought, well, that's it. Well, I know nothing about him, but I think he's not just a nerd. I think he also has a connection to a musical or playing an instrument approach. The preciseness of it. If you set the filter cutoff to 300 hertz, you can be sure it's 300 hertz. Or the filter tracking to 1 volt per octave, and then you play with the resonance, you play a melody, it's perfectly in tune. It's really good to make things which you develop in your head before and then want to do them on an analog synth. You can be sure that what you thought about before will, if you set it, it's going to sound like that. I like to combine it with the SAM to use step sequenced analog voltages to control it. It's like a Mercedes. It's not a sports car, but it really does what it should, and it does it perfectly. It's like a smooth ride. It's just a different world. I mean, you can do really different things with this nice physical approach. I think from now on it's going to be a very nice time for new types of synthesis.
Cwejman. Who is this with such a strange name? Cwejman, Cwejman, whatever. I love my hobby, and I live on it. I mean, from my hobby. So I'm a very lucky man. I can make synthesizers. 1970, I saw on black white TV the concert with Emerson, Lake and Palmer. I was totally amazed and thrilled, and it was then I told to myself that this is what I want to do. Those mystical, mysterious instruments, they sound so strange. It was 1996. I have from my daughter's boyfriend that analog stuff are so popular. And I thought it was just that. In 2 months' time, I had a prototype. It was 95% done, but those last 5% to make a success, it took me at least 6 years. It almost killed me. I always did stuff for others, like consultant for big companies like Ericsson and Volvo. and this is my baby. My products reflect my personality, myself. The color, the disposition of everything, and the concept of products. This is me. This is very personal. I use a lot of intuition, and I listen to intuition, not only measurements and intuition. When something in my head, this is right, and then it's right. Creativity, it just hits you. So, whoop, like this, yes. And you know if it's right or wrong. I can hear it in my head, how it sounds, totally. And then I use very modern tools to make it possible. I start with front panel, how it should look. And for me, it's also about the beauty of design, both electronics and how the whole product should look. So when I'm not pleased with electronic design, then I know it will be not good, so I have to change it. I can imagine what they need, but to be totally certain, 100%, I love to speak with people, have contact, communicate. This is very crucial for me. I developed S1 in a very short time. It was like a flow. I just made this layout in the matter of days. It was bigger and bigger, grew up to full scale synthesizer. And but I had one thought all the time: it can be a copy of anything, both on the outside front panel concept, the whole concept of synthesizer, and inside. It must be my concept. Mercedes is a perfect car made by professionals, so okay, this is maybe a Mercedes, but it don't mean that it's the best. Somebody else, maybe like I don't know, American cars or whatever. Yeah, I like Japanese. I already realized that I have to come up with something else, not only those standards modules. I have no clear idea, but I think it will be something different.
The market for analog is definitely decreasing and probably will continue to decrease and become a more specialized industry. But that's also a real opportunity for someone who has a kind of creative take on things. And so I just am hoping that I'm actually creative enough to have some inroads into that, into the future of it.
It does not make sense to offer another LFO that has a few more features. No, it has to be something really new. That's for all the modules that will come in the future is the most important thing.
You know, I've got a module which has got like 256 digital waveforms in it. It's all digital, but it just sits into a module like that, and you plug it in exactly the same way as you would an analog module, and I think that's really exciting.
I think if the sampling rate's getting higher and you have all these possibilities to save the stuff and make crazy sounds because you can rework all the digital plugins and everything, I'm not sure about where analog stuff is going.
I think as long as people have ideas and people are willing to use the tools, in some ways it's going to keep expanding and keep growing and evolving.
The urge to digitalize everything it's not the best solution. So I'm still for the old values, still like this. But if someone is coming and it's better than the old things, okay, I'm convinced. But in this case, it's not better.
People who listen to that kind of music, it's not important for them if it's made with an analog synthesizer or if it's made with a simulation of an analog synthesizer. But the people who make the music, they are artists, and I think that's the reason why they think different to the mass. So they will buy analog synthesizers in the future too, I hope.
As long as we have sockets in the wall to get some power to run them, I'm sure people will experiment around with the results of oscillators, electronical vibes somehow, and this is the way of analog. The big forces of marketing and reseller chains will not touch it because it's not a product that can be handled in big numbers, bringing them big margins. So it will stay our little business. So far, so good.